Oh my god, guys. We're back.
Oh my god.
It's the Sibling Ting. We are back again.
Let's go.
For another week. I can't believe it either. My name is Charlie. I'm the oldest sister and I like talking all things motorsports.
I'm Jesse. I really like fish. I also like dogs. My favourite colour is purple. And I'm doing darts and football.
I'm pretty sure two of those things were a lie.
I do like dogs.
You don't like fish?
Yeah, and your favourite colour isn't purple.
It is now.
Yeah, it's mix and
But
match.
it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also the youngest, by the way.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Really?
I am Carter, I'm the middle child, and I will be doing boxing and the combat side of sports.
So, it's been a busy week in sports. Well, kind of busy. Well, not very busy. But hey, we're here to talk about it, guys, because let's face it, we are the Sibling Ting podcast, and we're here to talk about all things sports. But before we get into the podcast, we've got a little phrase that we like to say. Are we ready?
All right, I think have we done it? We've done it one time now.
I don't think we've done it at all.
I think we have done it one
I
time.
don't think we've done it at all.
We did it one, but it wasn't perfect. But we got it. All right.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Lights out and podcast on. There you go.
Okay, Carter, I believe we're starting with a little bit of boxing this week.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh God, what?
We're going to start with boxing. Me and my lovely brother Carter officially started camp.
Yes, we have started. We have got no official date for a fight yet, but we have started camp. And
I would also just like, the reason I'm adding this in is I would like to give my utmost respect to all fighters who commit to their fights as very hard. As in, I'm eating I don't even know how many calories I'm eating a day to make weight. And Carter has
cuts.
he's currently eating crackers and butter.
I have cuts. I'm cutting weight, so I can be healthier. So I'm losing weight, and the dieting is not fun.
Jesus Christ, you two are pathetic.
It's horrible.
Seriously.
It's horrible.
It's hard, but the knockout's going to be even harder. So
Try being a vegetarian. It's no fun, guys.
just eat
no
meat.
joy.
Just eat meat.
just eat
No,
meat.
I'm not going to do that. Okay, I want to stay on my high horse. I'm happier with this way.
High horse.
Yeah,
High horse.
you know, because I can look down on you meat eaters. You ruining the planet and all that. Murderers.
No. Right. I don't have a whole bunch to talk about this week because there's not really a fun boxing match coming up. This week we have got one boxing match coming up, which will be the main card is NSV Stanonius.
Can you ever say a name correctly?
I've never got a boxer's name incorrect. I've got UFC fighter's name incorrectly because there's a few fights coming up from the UFC I'm going to have to say in a second and I know I'm going to screw them up. Boxing I'm fine.
No.
It's UFC, I know I'm going to mess up. They've got the welterweight championship, the IBF and WBA. That's interesting. Welterweight is what Jesse will be fighting at. So
Yeah, baby.
well, possibly,
So-
maybe.
Meek and weak looking.
No.
You just insulted the two boxers I've just. They've got two
No,
championship
I
belts
think
on
we
the
all
line.
know
You
I'm
just-
insulting our brother. There's a
Yeah.
very big difference. Everyone knows I'm insulting our brother because he is weak and meek and mild looking.
No.
I think, unfortunately, after that, there's not very many fights coming in. However, I think this is our first podcast in April, am I correct?
Second, because
Second.
the last one, guys, I don't know if you know this, we recorded
It was on your
someone's
birthday. It was on the very first. Well, we are slowly, very closely, about 2.5 weeks away till the big fight.
Which one?
A middleweight, Eubank, Benn.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a
fair,
proper
I've not
grudge
seen
match.
anything in the news about this for a while now.
Yeah, I think, well, they're not doing any press conferences. They have a press conference then, now they're training, they're back in camp, they're working hard, dieting, and then a week before, that's when conferences will
But I've
come
not
out.
even seen like promos or anything. Like, there's been no word on it at all.
Well, they have done a bit of promo. They did the Piers Morgan, a bit of promo.
Oh, yeah.
They did obviously the egg slap was a bit of promo. And they might have one within this week and then wait again until the week before. But it'll all come out the week of the fight.
Yeah.
Because it's big. So that'll be that's going to be a good. That's a proper grudge match. So that'll be fun. I think I've already gave my predictions, but I don't know if you two want to say who do you reckon were.
Eubank.
I was going to say I only know Eubank. I don't know.
Ben's a very hard hitter.
You know Nigel Benn?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ben's a very hard hitter. However, he's not. Technically, I'd say as gifted as Eubank is. He's not. I wouldn't even say he's gifted.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I wouldn't even say Eubank's gifted. I'll just say
is tough. They can fight, and they've been doing it since they were kids, and they've pretty much since birth been put onto this boxing path, but been put against opponents that will just lose. Journeyman. So they've not really fought amazing fighters. I would say Eubank. He's got more experience, a bit older. He's bigger, which always helps in a boxing fight, and obviously he's had to cut weight to fight. Or I think
Is cutting weight better than adding weight?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
100%.
Although actually, if I'm correct, because Benn failed the 2 drug tests and couldn't make the first 2 fights when they announced it originally. I think Eubank actually said they're going to fight at his weight because he's been messing around so much. If he wants that fight, Ben's going to have to come up. Right. And Ben said, yeah. So I think Eubank's cutting slightly, but I think he's sticking at his weight at 180.
Yeah.
And Ben's going to have to increase his weight from like 150. He's putting on about 30 pounds, maybe more, maybe less, but it's a lot.
How does that affect like a fighter then? Like, how does that? Because obviously, like, you'd reasonably think like cutting weight is going to be more hard because obviously you're going to just be like weaker, like body-wise, surely.
Well, it depends how much you cut, but if you're cutting from a heavyweight to a middleweight. Yeah, for sure. That's insane. Like you won't be able to box because you're just not going to understand the physics of your own body. But
is that it then? Is that why it's difficult when they're changing weight? Is it like the physics of their body?
I think it's harder putting on weight, even though you see it more often because it's more famous, especially with cruiserweight.
Look who's here! Hello,
puppy boy.
We've got a dog come off of a walk. Oh my god! Hello, boy.
Hello, Papa.
Boy. Yeah, I think putting on weight's harder depending on how much weight you put on because you're obviously slower. Mm-hmm. If you put on £30, like from 150 to 180, which I believe is roughly what Ben's doing.
Yeah.
You're putting on a couple of stone worth of weight, which means how he's been boxing for 20 odd fights, which is records 20 and something. He's been fighting at 150. Now he knows how to punch and how fast his punches and how hard he can take a punch, how hard he can hit. Yeah. Now he's changing that for one fight. It's a mess putting on that much weight.
Right.
But he wants that fight with Eubank because of a grudge match and fathers and so forth. Fair enough, he's going for it, and he's making weight. So respect to him. But it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's dodgy. So, but it might work out for him. You know, it's worked out for others. It's not like he's the first person for him to have worked out if it does.
Yeah.
But I just think in a certain circumstance, Eubank is just he'll be winning. Hey up, boy. Hey. Hello, boy. Hello. Oh, you're drenching me.
Have they given a new date for the KSI fight?
No, not yet, no.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if he is really ill, then I'm guessing he'll just be... Yeah. I will say this, I don't think, and I hate talking about influencer boxing when I'm talking about real boxing, but in this sense, I'm not going to say KSI is afraid to fight. I don't think he's afraid of fighting. Dylan Dennis was an embarrassment in the ring when he fought Logan Paul. So you're not going to be afraid of that.
Speaking of Paul, isn't Jake Paul fighting someone soon?
Well, there's been rumours of everything. I think who's his most recent one?
I don't know.
It was meant to be Alvarez. Then he mentioned the most recent one. He mentioned he was going to fight Joshua. Joshua.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I've never seen like live death, but I imagine it's a weird thing to watch.
The thing is, Joshua would he'd try and be nice and then he'd just knock him out in a couple of rounds. But I will say, and in no way do I think Jake Paul would win. I'm in no way saying that.
Right.
But I will say Joshua can't take punch. He's got very weak chin. And if for some reason Jake Paul
Thank you.
caught him with one of them hooks he has, like at that point, I wouldn't know what to say about boxing. I'd give up one because
Okay.
he really could do that, like catch him on a chin. Anthony Joshua can't take it for some reason, but it realistically, 99% sure, Anthony Joshua would just knock him out in like second round or something. It would be nice and just second round knockout or something.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Alvarez would be even nicer, I reckon. Probably take it to about 4 or 5 rounds and then just like just knock him out. But yeah, I mean, Jake Paul, respect for him doing it, for calling these people out.
I will say, for watching like the few influencer, I mean, I hate watching boxing. Anyway,
Yeah.
but like the few matches I have watched, he seems to be the only one who like, and from watching the conferences, he seems to actively understand and learn a lot about boxing. Like he actually seems like a fan of boxing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whereas a lot of them, and I am going to like say it, which you know me, I like to be a bit impartial. I will say that I think KSI used it as some sort of like theatre production.
Yeah,
it never
it's
seems to be like
what happened there.
genuine. Whereas Jake Paul looks like he actually genuinely is interested and genuinely wants to. In the same way, like Logan genuinely wants to do WWE.
Yeah,
it's like that same thing of like.
I think a paycheck makes Logan Paul want to do WWE.
No, but he's also a massive fan.
He
like
is.
he's made that so clear that he's. I mean, I know you're upset that Joe Weller isn't on TV with WWE, but Jesus Christ,
oh my God,
I think Logan Paul is genuinely a fan.
dream. I don't care if he's fun. I do not like Logan Paul.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Joe Weller. I was like, Joe Weller.
No, everyone's a fan
everyone
of Joe
around
Weller.
this age loves Joe Weller.
He's a nice lad. Lovely.
Jake Paul definitely loves the sport of boxing. He had this. Tommy Fury had this talk with some interviewer, and he said Tommy Fury is not a great boxer. He's not, but he is obviously a boxer. Not very good, but he is compared to the influencers.
Yeah.
And he said in a fight once, he said, KSI was harder to fight, not because he was a better opponent, but because KSI has no idea what he's doing, so it makes it hard. Whereas Jake Paul, he said, Jake Paul is really trying to understand the art of boxing, and someone throws a jab, counter, block, take, counter punch.
Yeah.
He understands the hooks. You know, so Tommy Fury could read everything, because Jake Paul's doing what a boxer would do. He's just not very good at it, so Tommy Fury could be better at it. Whereas KSI has no clue what he's doing. He doesn't understand a single thing to do with boxing, and he just like flails his arms about. And Tommy Fury said it was impossible to deal with as a boxer because you're not used to seeing that. You're used to art of boxing, for a punch being thrown. You know how to deal with it. Yeah. KSI doesn't know how to throw a punch, so Tommy Fury did say he was like, Jake Paul really is a fan, he really is trying. I think Anthony Joshua did give respect once to Jake Paul, saying he's getting people in and watching, he's trying. Yeah. So all respect to Jake Paul, he does try. Maybe he'll fight a half decent pro boxer one day and win, maybe, but he's not going to be taking Alvarez and Joshua. That's not going to happen.
Do you know what? I hope the best for him.
Hope the best. That's all we can do. I think that's really it for boxing, because we haven't really got a whole bunch of many matches for a while, for a few weeks. But we have got, on Sunday, UFC 314. Now, I'm going to say these names, or at least attempt to, because I know them, I've seen them fight, and I know which one's going to win. But
just to be clear, as someone who is the fan of boxing and UFC and all that, you should know how to say the names. It's like a basic
boxing,
bit.
I am, yeah. Okay. But UFC, I'm not. I don't know
like
an entire
Is it like me with MotoGP? Like, you just know.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
UFC, I might have a slight bit more knowledge in UFC than you do MotoGP. But picture the names. No, it's true. Well, it's 100% true. You've watched MotoGP for about 28 days.
Closer to 2 months.
Yeah, sure. All right, you ready?
Okay.
All right, Diego Lopez.
You found that.
This is the main card, yeah? Or at least the co-main, yeah? Diego Lopez, Alexander Volkanovski. I think I've got it.
I think you've done all right there.
The thing is, you know why?
But
Volkanovski, I've seen him fight, and he's going to win the fight. He's going to beat Lopez.
Like actually Parker or something.
Parker, yeah.
God, it's just been like I've added
Smith,
14 different letters.
Imagine it's Taylor, though.
Yeah.
No, he is a very good fighter. He's fought quite a few. He will win. he will
Literally,
win.
the only UFC fighter I know that's current is Paddy.
Paddy.
Paddy, yeah.
Oh, that's
Paddy's
interesting,
Paddy, yeah. It's the
because the
only one I know.
co-main event
Oh, right, okay.
is Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight,
It's the
that.
only guy I know.
Yeah, I
in
don't know.
UFC.
Michael Chandler's about 57. How
Can I
old
just say I don't trust this because you recently said that you thought Marc Marquez was like in his 40s and
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
only
yeah,
32.
yeah, but again, Charlie, we don't know MotoGP, so we do.
No, but you said it like a million times. You were like, he's like in his 40s.
I'm pretty sure he still
no, he
is.
isn't.
But all right, Paddy Pimblett is 30. Mm-hmm. Mike Chandler is 38. That's a reasonable.
You just said he's like 50.
Yeah, for a UFC fighter, it's quite old.
There's
38.
no, it's not. He's 38.
No,
He's just
no,
38.
for a fighter it is. For an athlete,
No.
38 is quite old.
No, because at the end of the day, age doesn't matter. Look at Fernando Alonso. He'll still get it. Like, at the end of the day...
Oh, but Fernando Alonso isn't taking punches to the face.
He's driving at 200 miles per hour.
I tell you what, all right. Michael Chandler could get into a car and drive at speed, yeah?
Not-
he won't, not
an
at the same
F1 car?
skill.
I was gonna say, calm
he
yourself down.
could, not
I
at the same
will fall out
skill,
with you today,
but he
boy.
could go that speed, yeah? He just
No.
won't be very skillful at it.
Yeah, he'll probably
Fernando
die.
Alonso will not be able to take the punches and kicks to the face as Michael Chandler could.
In the same way, yes, they could.
No, they couldn't.
They genuinely could.
No, they
Because at the
couldn't.
end of the day, both of them are going to die in their respective opposite sports. So it's true for both ends.
No, it's not.
I'm not having this argument with you. I am not having this argument with you.
That's ridiculous.
I cannot be
All right,
asked to have this
all
argument
right.
with you.
So Phil Taylor, the amazing darts player, because he's the best in his field, could take a round ass kick by John Jones, just because Fernando Alonso could, because he's the best of his sport. No, it's not how it works.
I
Okay.
can't be asked with you. I actually cannot be asked with you.
Well, I will say I'll put my money on Paddy Pimblett for one reason is that he's younger. And to be fair, he's a good wrestler. Michael Chandler has a lot more losses, but he has fought a lot more high level fighters than Paddy has. Paddy's still relatively new to the UFC, within like fighting people. So I'm gonna put my money on Paddy.
Fair.
Still, there is some other fights on it. Unfortunately, not as famous names, not as popular. So I'll leave it to co-main events.
Here we go.
Yeah, but yeah, I think. Oh, and also, I'm not going to attempt.
That's what I was waiting for.
No, that's not going to happen. I don't know a whole bunch about UFC, but I know them names and I've seen them fighting, so I don't mind saying that this one coming up because it is going to be a good one.
We're in a safe space, guys. It's a safe, non-judgmental space.
Exactly. But that is probably it for me because I don't really have much to talk about boxing. So
No, I'm judging you.
whoever is next.
It's me.
Way!
It's me. So, guys, this week we have had a little bit of a race, have we not? In Japan. Now, I will say there wasn't a lot of drama in this race. Now, I know a lot of people want to talk about Albon's radio and things like that. It really isn't anything worth talking about because I think it's a genuine, normal conversation you probably have on the radio. The reason it was so big and is blowing up on social media and things is because nothing happened in that goddamn race that was worth talking about. So it was the most boring race. I don't understand why people are obsessed with. I know Carlos Sainz said it as well that he really likes Japan as a track. It's just not big enough. It's and I'm going to say it, and I know people are going to hate me for this because I do like the track, and I do think it's a really good track. I understand why it's so important. Monaco is the same. You cannot get the F1 cars the size they are now around that racetrack to make it a fair fight for anyone. At the end of the day, I understand that some racetracks you are going to have that straights and things like that. And I'm not saying that the overtakes are the thing that makes the sport the most interesting. They're not. At the end of the day, there's so much more things that are interesting about a race. The strategy, the pit stops, anything like that. There's so much more that makes a race entertaining. But in saying that, when you actually can't have a fair fight with any of the cars cannot get around each other, it just takes away from the whole aspect of racing. There is no racing. It's just what order you're in, you've got to hope you put about 20 seconds in between till you get a free pit stop, and that's it. That's all you can hope for.
Is the worst. But Monaco...
I understand why it's there. I get it. I just don't think it works anymore.
Yeah.
Either change the way the track is...
Yeah.
Or just don't have it.
It's highly possible to just leave it for a year without Monaco and just make it wider. They can do that, surely. I don't know how, but they could do it.
Or have Monaco. If Monaco is... I understand why Monaco has a racetrack, because it is so significant to the sport, and I understand it completely. And I understand, like, a lot of people are going to be, like, arguing at me, you know, saying, well, you know, it is really important to the sport. I get it. I think the only thing is, from someone who watches it, obviously, I didn't watch it back when the race cars were smaller, so I don't know what it was like when you could go racing there. But I feel like with Monaco and with Japan, the tracks just aren't big enough. They're so small for the F1 cars, the size they are now. The cars are massive, and it's for good reasons. They're obviously a lot safer. They are faster. They've obviously got the V10 engines and things like that. There's so much to them that is better. However, the tracks just aren't mimicking that, and it's so difficult to have an entertaining track race when it's just not, it isn't big enough to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've raced in Japan. Verstappen won because he had pole, and unfortunately you can't really get along. And don't get me wrong, we are seeing the Red Bull, but in saying that, we are also seeing the two McLarens just behind. Leclerc came in fourth.
Can we just mention?
Yeah, go on.
It's 2 consecutive races with with both McLarens on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like,
Was it Verstappen winning, I'm assuming?
Well, the thing is, that's the first time Verstappen's won yet. And at the end of the day, even with that win, like, it's not saying Red Bull's back. We're not saying in any capacity that Red Bull is back to what Red Bull was. I will say I am heartbroken for Yuki. Didn't score points, but he did get driver of the day. And I will say he didn't place himself badly for his first race. Like, for his first race with Red Bull, he came 12th, which doesn't score many points for Red Bull, but I will say it wasn't a bad, like, race at all.
I remember seeing that.
Wanted. It's not in any way what he would have wanted.
I remember seeing it and thinking, obviously, he's got the seat after Lawson, bit of drama and being kicked out because he's been doing so well.
Yeah.
And his first race has gone off the top.
But it's still better. Like, at the end of the day, Lawson scored 20, so, like, there is improvement no matter what you look at it, and it is his first race. Like, I think if it comes to the second race, come to the third race, and then all of a sudden we're still not seeing any progression, Red Bull are probably going to end up moving Yuki. The thing is, Red Bull have no interest in putting any sort of support, I guess is the right word, any support for that second driver. It is the Max Verstappen show, and I don't think that's Max's fault, because Max has also said that he doesn't think it's right with what's happened with Lawson. So I don't argue in any capacity that I think it's Max's fault that it's the way it is, but Red Bull have this thing of they're just going to focus on Max, and whoever comes in second, if they're not getting a point for the team, they're just going to get rid. And they've got
it's not good, because it means someone's going to have to come out, be absolutely amazing. But then again, like Red Bull, say someone, I don't know, from F2 comes through and they have like reserve or from Red Bull team and go, all right, we'll give him a chance for one race. Has Yuki off sick and they do amazing. Yeah. Kick Yuki off, take this lad, not know where this lad then messes up and gets P18. All right, we'll go for another one. It's just bad.
The thing is, like, and I've said it before, how much I despise Helmut Marko. I think he's a horrible person with views that don't belong in this century. But he sort of said something when Lando was talking loads about mental health, and he basically said that it just shows how much of a weak mindset Lando's got. And I think even Christian Horner said something along the same lines. I think that's disgusting, because at the end of the day, here's a team that is actively showing they do not care about their drivers' mental health in any capacity. They could not care less if they are having a bad day or a bad week, because they are willing to say, well, if you don't score points for the team, you're out, and you've only had 2 races. They've got no further support or anything like that, and it's just kicked to the curb.
You know what? I think someone needs... So, like Max, I imagine conversations between Red Bull and Max and the new drivers would be like...
Max
won't care, and he will voice his opinion, and we won't know it. But I reckon he'll voice his opinion, and if they have to literally just bow down and yes, absolutely, Max, absolutely, because that's who's winning right now. Not Red Bull, it's Max. Yeah. So I reckon behind closed doors, Max will have a go. They sit there and go, yeah, absolutely. No, we'll do everything we can for you. And then to everybody else that comes in, any other driver, I reckon they're the arsiest people ever.
Yeah.
And they will be absolutely horrible, shouting orders, and then it goes to Max, and because Max don't care. And that's what
it's like that. Have you seen that picture where it's the woman's holding up the baby and then there's a skeleton?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Red Bull with Max, and then the skeleton underneath the second driver, whoever the second driver is.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do feel like we do need to slightly mention, Kimi Antonelli did the fastest lap of the track.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, I think, and I might be wrong in saying this, but I'm fairly certain with timings and things like that, the last person to do that that early in their career was their second race was Lewis Hamilton in 2007.
Yeah.
So that is insanity to be able to literally get into that car and do one of the fastest laps. That is insane.
Tell you what, if McLaren wasn't like it is right now, I think Mercedes, Russell,
they're really impressive.
Yeah, they're doing very
Russell
well.
and Antonelli came in 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
So you can't argue, like, they're so impressive at the minute.
All 3 races so far, they've been doing particularly well.
Really, really well. So, so then obviously, I think it is, so this weekend we've got Bahrain.
Yes, yeah.
I am a fan of the Bahrain track. I do really like the Bahrain track.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people there's obviously political reasons why it's in Bahrain a lot of the time, but anyway, we won't even get into that. I do like the Bahrain track. I'm not a massive fan of the night races, which I think Bahrain's a night race. I could be wrong. But I don't mind Bahrain, and it's a decent track, it's decent size.
Yes.
There's a lot of space, there is going to be a lot of overtaking. And as I said, that's not the main thing that makes the sport interesting, but it's the main thing that makes a sport
I would say,
track.
though, it is, it's how people get interested in the sport overtaking.
Yeah.
It's not the best when you're into the sport and you like the sport and you're watching, but when you're new and you're watching it because your mate's got it on, you're at the pub, overtaking is what makes it interesting. So having a better track, more live coverage on the better tracks when there's more overtakes is more likely to get more views and more fans in. I just personally think.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Don't you agree, Jesse?
Yeah, I am here.
Get involved with the conversation.
I'm not a big F1er.
So another one as well with MotoGP, just to quickly jump onto that, Jorge Martin is officially been signed off and he will be coming to the next race. So Jorge Martin, who I am so sorry, I think I've said George Martin before, which is wrong of me.
George Martin is in Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones writer George Martin.
No, Jorge.
George Martin from Game of Thrones. He wrote Game of Thrones. He's going to jump on.
George R.R. Martin is not going to be at MotoGP.
George R.R. Martin is going to jump on a Kawasaki Ninja and race Mark Marquez.
No, there's going to be no Kawasaki Ninja from George R.R. Martin.
Right. And Valentino Rossi is going to come back and George R.R. Martin, Mark
Get
Marquez,
out of your head
and Valentino Rossi.
That George R.R. Martin, the writer of Game of Thrones, is in any capacity going to be on MotoGP.
Well, why would you say it in the first place?
Because Jorge Martin is...
Right. Well,
and he's been obviously off track for since the start of the season due to pre-testing injury, and he's officially going to be back. So, and I think the idea is, obviously, as I said, I'm literally just getting into MotoGP, so these are like things that I'm like picking up along the way.
Yeah.
The main idea is that he will probably be the person to take the fight to Mark.
Yes,
so it will be interesting. Although I will say, I would love to know what family dynamics would be if Alex Marquez took the fight to Mark. That would be a little Sunday roast argument I would love to be a fly on the wall for. Did you find it funny when he kicked me off the bike on that corner? Did you find that funny, did you?
So you're saying you didn't put your foot out? But you did put your foot out. We saw it's on camera, I've got a picture.
Yeah. Did you find that funny?
It's my home screen right now. I can put it on my home screen right now.
Did you, bro?
You did put your foot out.
Did you, bro?
You did put your foot out.
So that's all the news I have this week.
Very
Jesse,
nice.
We hand it over to you.
Very tired. Very... yes. Derby County.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We dive straight in. It was a loss away to Swansea. However, after the run, you can't complain. I did say if we came out with a draw against Swansea, I would have been happy. It's 1-0 loss. Not really that bad, to be honest with you.
It was 2-0.
No, it's 1-0.
Oh, that's not bad.
It happened. And you know what? The run Derby County are having, I'm happy.
Sure.
I'm happy, yeah. It's been a good one to be a Derby fan at the moment in time. And if we escape relegation on the final day, which we will be there for, oh my God, you won't hear from me. You weren't here for, but I'm saying that I'm sober now. For boxing
Wait,
camp, if anyone knows this.
We won't hear from you. But is that a promise?
Yes.
That's good things for some people.
Hot champagne, my boy.
In regards to just football, I think the big thing at the moment is the Champions League going on today.
Yeah.
In 40 minutes' time, Arsenal will kick off against Real Madrid.
Nice.
At the Emirates Stadium, while Bayern Munich will take on Inter.
Arsenal versus Real Madrid.
Arsenal versus Madrid and Munich versus Inter.
Okay.
I think is it the Alliance or something like that? The Munich ground. It's something like that.
Massive stadium.
I think Arsenal are going to lose at the Emirates.
That's... What are you doing with the dog?
He keeps going back to...
I was going to say the dog is currently... He's got the zoomies. He's got the zoomies.
Guys, come here.
To be fair, with football at the moment, it's been a weird one. Last Premier League, Villa beat Forest. Yes. Which is always happy to see. United City disappointed massively. It was just a horrible...
I was going to say, what happened with the United City game?
0-0.
Oh, was it?
No, it was at Trafford as well. To be honest, I wish I had a lot more to talk about, but it's just until after today, the Champions League, until the first leg of these games kick off, it's gonna be a quiet one. Derby have also playing in... Well, they're actually playing soon. They're playing in 25 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Against West Brom at Pride Park.
Okay.
Is it West Brom? I believe.
Were you asking one of us?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Burnley, sorry. Why did I say West Brom?
Yeah, well, I was about to say that, but...
We knew, didn't we?
Yeah, we knew, but...
I'm very tired, guys. I will say that Derby will win today, because we are Derby County and it is at Pride Park Stadium.
Right.
You know what? I'm happy to be a Derby fan.
Is it still called? Is it iPro?
No, it's Pride Park.
Oh, thank God for that.
It was. It's gone back.
Thank God for that.
What a name Pride Park is. I will say Derby I will stay up, and I think if Eustace has a very successful transfer window, that we could be playoff contenders next season. Yeah. Bold statement, but it's a bold statement.
That is a bold
to say.
Jesse.
Hello.
Is someone not close to beating our score?
They won't. I was going to say Southampton have officially been relegated from the Premier League. They have not beaten Derby County's record as of yet.
We're still the worst.
No. We're still the worst at the moment.
Oh,
however,
they have chance.
All they have to do is draw a game.
Well... Let's pray here, guys.
Wait. So you're saying if they lose the rest of the games, just draw once, they...
I don't actually know this because they might have worse goal difference than we did in 2007.
Right.
Meaning, if that is the case, if they have worse goal difference and they draw one game and lose the rest, yeah, they potentially might be the worst team.
Yeah, but
there's
why
7 games
can't they
left.
Just give us a record? Like we deserve that record.
There's 7 games left.
We worked hard for that
There
record.
is 7 games left, and if they win one, they don't. They obviously beat the record, so they don't.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's
Come on.
Wait, do you want the record? Or do you want it
No, I
to
want
lose
us to keep the record.
Yeah.
If we're going to be the worst at something, be the worst.
Yeah.
I would be happy for Southampton to take this record off us. To be honest with you.
I want to keep it.
I don't like being the worst Premier League team in history. It's not...
yeah, but it puts our name on the map.
Yeah.
We're the
When
Rams!
people want to look at Premier League, you'll never remember every single one that's won, because at the end of the day, they're just going to remember the one who's won the most.
Yeah, but we're Derby County.
Realistically, what's more popular, Fulham or Derby County? Derby County, because we have a record. Fulham's just there.
Yeah.
It's just there, and it's always there.
If
I'm honest, I wouldn't even be able to say on a map where Fulham is.
London.
Because it's just...
Yeah, we know it's down south, but could you tell me where?
Where is Derby? You know
also,
where
it's not
Derby is.
London. It's not a city of London. It's around London.
No, it's next to Chelsea, I'm pretty sure.
There's 4 teams, is there not, in London?
No, there's many teams. You've got Brentford, Crystal Palace, Tottenham,
in the
Arsenal,
city of London.
Chelsea, Fulham.
See? There's no history there. They've got loads of teams.
No, I'm
Derby's
saying
only
that.
got
I'm
one.
saying that. I would say Derby County is an absolutely massive club. Like, if you're from Derby, you support Derby.
I mean, I couldn't care less, but sure.
No, it's I don't. It's at the moment in time. I don't really know. If Southampton were to become the worst team in Premier League history, I wouldn't be bothered by it.
I'm very proud of you, Jesse. It's right next to Chelsea.
Thank you. Craven Cottage and Stamford Bridge, isn't it? Not too far off. What can I say? I know my football, guys.
Chicken Cottage.
Craven Cottage.
Oh, makes more
That
sense.
sounds like a cheese.
I will.
What do you fancy tonight, babe? Bit of Craven Cottage.
I will say at the moment, no, it's not over. Derby County still have a massive chance to get relegated, and a win today would be very nice.
Yeah.
Me and Dad spoke about this a lot. He said out of all the games we had, we would have to win majority of them, and we are currently on the way to do that. We really can't afford to lose points at home.
Okay.
That if we win at home, that's where we will escape relegation. You can't afford to lose points at home, and if you can get the draw or you can get the win away, that will save you from relegation. And at the moment, we're doing pretty well. Just have to see how today goes. In regards to the Champions League, I think Arsenal are going to lose 2-0 today to Real Madrid, and then they'll go to not Manu, that's Wolves ground, the Bernabeu. Is it Bernabeu?
Bernabeu, Real Madrid.
I don't know.
Yes, it's Real Madrid. Bernabeu.
Yeah.
You are
Yes,
pathetic.
Thank you.
It's correct.
I'm correct.
No, he's
and
just, he's not got any of the stats. Nothing correct. Do you know what? It shows as well in our sibling dynamic.
George R.R. Martin.
His name is Jorge Martin.
You said George
think,
Martin.
The other week I said George Martin.
I
That
think
was
Barcelona
correct.
are going to win the Champions League. I think it's going to be.
Who's still in the running?
It is Dortmund versus Barcelona.
Yes.
It's Munich versus Inter.
Okay.
It's PSG versus Villa.
Okay.
And it's Arsenal versus Real Madrid.
I'm going to still keep my hopes on Bayern Munich having a double for Harry Kane as his first
Is Barcelona
trophies.
still in it?
I'm going to go Barcelona.
I'm still going to go Barcelona.
I think it's going to be an El Clasico final. I think it's going to be a Madrid-Barcelona final, and then Barcelona's going to win.
If it's an El Clasico, Real Madrid is winning. Barcelona's not going to beat a current.
There you go. I think Barcelona will win it.
All I know-
I think tonight Arsenal are going to lose 2-0, and I think Munich
Who
are
even
going to
plays
win
for Barcelona?
1.
Is Lamar your mum or whatever his name is?
Yes, Lewandowski.
Is he still playing for
Yes.
Barcelona?
Sorry, surname is your mum.
Lamar your mum.
No, he's making that up.
Lamar
Isn't it
Yamal.
Yamal?
Lamar Yamal.
Well, you said your mum. Where did that come from?
Insulting because he's a horrible person.
There was a joke of Harry Kane AI made him say Lamar your mum when they were facing Spain. I don't know.
And
Need that TikTok.
and you know what? I'm quite happy in the stance of football at the moment. I'm excited for 8 o'clock today. Darts.
Oh God, we got it wrong, boys.
Darts.
We got it
Who won?
wrong.
Stephen Bunting.
None of us knew.
Oh.
None of us.
He
yeah.
then
guessed.
also followed it up by winning his first European Tour title, beating Nathan Aspinall in the final on the weekend.
Can I just
So-
say, you said tour title really weird, then it sounded like you said whore title.
I'm just astounded
You know-
that he won Premier League night. He beat Gerwyn Price. Gezi got a free quarter-final because Michael Van Gerwen pulled out, who was my predicted winner.
Oh yeah, who was your predicted one? wasn't
Michael
he?
Van Gerwen, yeah.
Can I just say, shocking Dobie.
Beat
Yeah,
Like, in no way offence
I-
to Dobie, but I don't even think I've ever predicted him winning.
I do. Well, Jesse's never predicted a single match right.
That's true.
Jesse actually. He voted. He
he
said,
tried to be, so I'm gonna go gun for him
Michael
now.
Van Gerwen, and not only did he lose to someone, he didn't even play.
No.
He didn't even play on the night. That's how bad
Yeah,
you are at
bad
guessing.
at predictions.
You,
Oh, like,
when
you're
I
really
said
bad.
on one of the podcasts, like 4th or 5th, I said, "Oh, you know what? Whoever you think is going to win, go for the opposite. Just try it. Just try it one time. It might be. You might actually be right."
But then Gezi made it to the final. He actually played quite well. I was actually more rooting for Gezi. I love Gezi.
You do love a bit of Gezi, don't you?
However, Bunting is just the most athletic man
Oh, Jesus.
in all of planet Earth.
He's
won his
such a
first time.
nice guy as well.
You know what? He deserved it. He beat Humphreys.
Is that his first
Premier League win this season, yeah. I don't. I think it was just a one. I think it's just a one for him, to be honest with you. I think Aspinall's due one. Michael Van Gerwen has to be due one soon.
Yeah, but you're saying it, so I'm going to go against that. You know what? If Stephen Bunting won every week now, if he does that, with it being Stephen Bunting, I'll still vote everybody but him. I don't think if he won every week and everyone's like, oh well, he's going to win again because he's on a roll, I'd still be like, no, be Aspinall. Yeah,
I don't actually know how far little is off from qualifying, to be fair. So I'm sure if he wins another night or two, he's qualified. This week, however, we'll do predictions.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dobie versus Van Gerwen.
Van Gerwen.
Who do you think?
I'll go Van Gerwen.
Dobie's going to win.
Rob Cross or Aspinall?
Aspinall.
I'll go Aspinall. Littler or Price?
Price.
It's got to be Littler. It's got to be Littler.
Price.
Bunting or Humphreys?
Humphreys.
Bunting.
I'm going to go Bunt after.
Yeah,
I think Premier League win, European title win. I reckon he's on form. I think he's momentum. Then it would be Van Gerwen versus Aspinall.
Aspinall.
Van Gerwen.
I can't believe you said that. Aspinall.
I'll go Aspinall winning.
Dobie.
Dobie to make. You think Dobie's going to make it to the final?
Yeah.
Okay. Littler, Bunting, or what was yours? Price, Humphreys, I'm assuming.
Price, Humphreys. Oh, you know what?
Littler.
I'll go against him. I'm going to say Price.
I'm going to go Littler, Aspinall final. And then Littler's going to win it.
I can't believe I'm going to say this.
You reckon Aspinall?
I'm going to say Aspinall.
Aspinall to win the night.
I don't know why, but I'm just going to say Aspinall.
I can't be. I'm going to say Price.
You're going to say Price?
I'm going to say Luke the Nuke to win the night.
I can't believe I'm saying Aspinall, but yeah, I think Aspinall.
I can't believe I'm saying anyone but Humphreys. This is a strange week.
I know, it's strange for me. Littler's in the final for me, and I'm still saying Aspinall.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I would like to see Aspinall win.
Yeah.
I like the Asp. I love the Asp.
Right, guys, that is it for Sibling Ting podcast episode 24 or whatever we're on.
214.
214. Please go and follow us and like our posts on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you can find us on. We are on every streaming podcast platform there is, whatever you listen to. I think we're doing best on, is it Apple or Spotify? Spotify we're doing best on. So please, anywhere you want to, go and follow us and tune in next time. We will have a good one, a good podcast.
I feel like next week's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Bahrain, we'll have Jess's predictions being wrong once again.
Yeah.
Obviously, Price is going to win, so I'll be right. So it'll be a fun one next week. But thanks for listening today, guys, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Drive home safe.
Okay. Start with the drive home safe.
Don't do drugs.